Let's go bang, game penentuan match point untuk kedua tim. Apakah Onyx gugur atau Twisted main yang gugur? Let's go. Let's go. Ini dia. Ini nggak ada main-main lagi bang ya. Yang kalah gugur bos. Kali ini Kelra udah serius kayaknya. King Kong pakai Lancelot bos.
I don't know what to think about this. Is this Lancelot in the hands of King Kong going to be enough to change some things here?
I mean, a debut game, backs against the wall, pressure game for the defending champions. They put off a Lancelot. If ever they manage to, force a snowball from King Kong, it could be enough to beat Twisted Minds.
I'm looking more right now at Brusco. I mentioned Brusco and Kirk. Also looking at Brusco and Super Friends. Of course, we've discussed it many times this season. The signature play for these two on the Khalid and the Juicin is to get a kill within the first 2 minutes. They weren't able to get a kill right away. That's something that I believe in the scouting report of Twisted Minds.
Brusco-nya pakai apa bang? Khalid.
We saw it before so many times that they'll be able to get a kill just with the first minion wave push alone. They weren't able to take that, but now they still apply the pressure onto the rotation of MP the King.
Okay. So early action here on the bottom side. And this is kind of interesting too because, yeah, the Boxer was picked up early on in the draft. It goes into the hands of James this time. And Escalera, man, he's had a hell of a series, especially the previous 2 games. If Escalera stays locked in, which he's been the past 2 games from the Guinevere, then to the Boxer, and now on this Tigreal, which we have seen Tigreals change the course of games. That could be really troublesome. James quite low here. Kirk.
Oh.
Turtle yang pertama.
Jumps in the picture this time. Thornrose is going to connect. There's a
lama kali backupnya bos.
drawn onto James. Plus the kill onto Escalera as well. Kirk quite low here, but MP the King jumps in. Is able to escape as Brusco focuses attention on Hajizi.
They overestimated that attempt there. King Kong was way too close for them to take that fight, but I believe they weren't able to see him then. They were shocked. And now it's the first turtle going to Onyx Philippines. They're ticking their conditions, but Twisted Minds, their potential snowball, already getting melted down quickly by Onyx Philippines.
Minus sekali backup dari Twisted Minds bang ya.
But that's the thing, we've seen Outplayed step up too. I feel like we just haven't talked too much about Outplayed throughout the series,
Lama kali
but he
backupnya.
has done relatively well. He's either winning lane against Kelra, and you gotta remember, Kelra, what he's done in the past year and everything that's come with it and being the world champions and everything else, calling him the god of the gold lane, while Outplayed's doing relatively well in that lane, in that matchup. And later on in the game, he is there in those crucial fights, those crucial skirmishes. So that's a big thing. We don't see Irithyll often, but with this kind of composition, it could actually be really good. I mean, think about the... hold on.
Datang dong Brusco-nya.
Brusco here. He has a flicker plus Raging Sandstorm. He's not going to commit though.
Super Prince. And they still push this.
Oh, dipikirnya flicker itu Brusco-nya bang ya. Apa ini?
Kick off down.
And now next target might be Kirk here. Getting ganked up by 3. Brusco doesn't have resources.
Nice.
Might fall down. As James
Mati
picks
semua
up
dong.
one more. Brusco might be the next target. Forced out the flicker and escapes.
Live and die on the hill of Hajizi. The Eve yet again. Great real-world manipulation there. At the tip of it, able to catch King Kong to secure the kill onto there. So that balances out the difficulty that Onyx Philippines was providing for the early game rotation of MP the King. Now, let's look at the all-time hero stats. King Kong made a name for himself back in MPL Philippines Season 11 with this hero. It was his heroics as a Lancelot, Season 12 that made then Onyx Philippines go, you know what? We want to get him in for Season 13.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was thinking with Onyx Philippines, the way that they were playing earlier on, up top in that top lane, and then they would have that advantage. But I still got to say, Twisted Minds really answering a lot of the pressure that Onyx has done
angkat di sini.
throughout the series, and are able to find something out of it.
Dilepas
Now
aja
this
kayaknya
turtle's up.
turtle-nya.
Not sure if they're going to get in position because MP's got to grab his buff, so they just take quick work of it. King Kong will secure that second turtle, but will they force a fight?
MP the King tried And now forced out the Tempest of Blades here.
Whoa.
Onyx Philippines trying to work on
Wow.
him, and Super Friends will pick up the kill. So they get a turtle plus a kill onto MP.
That had to be a misstep.
Yeah, it looked like a massive misstep there. MP the King fell off the wall, tried to get that turtle, steal it away. Way too greedy, way too risky. And now Onyx Philippines have ballooned to a 2.2 gold lead. 5 minutes in, it's starting to look very bad for Twisted Minds, and Onyx Philippines might just run away with this. The Khalid pickup might have been the perfect one, because yes, as we mentioned earlier, Brusco and Kirk have to set the tempo, and they have been doing just that. James going to the back.
Dikejar dong Kelranya.
Sets his eyes on Kellera.
Miss itu linknya bos. Fatal itu linknya, miss.
Getting chased down by 4. Onyx Philippines working on
Ya
bringing down
ampun,
James. A couple more hits and he's gonna fall down.
Fatal kali itu bang ya.
Twisted Minds are losing their discipline. Too desperate was their attempt to try and take Keller down, to try and get something there. 4.3k gold lead. The gold lead has doubled since the last time we checked it. And as we look at the items, Irithel not suffering as much. Mid lane not that much as well, but it's in the EXP lane. It's in the Baksho versus Hilda.
It's
King
crazy
Kongnya
how
fokus
in the
farming
past
sama
minutes,
push
you
turret
balloon
loh.
to a 5,000 gold lead. I mean, they're getting everything now, and they're not letting up.
Yeah, now the invades are starting as Galera forced to use the ultimate, but a response from Onyx though. Hajizi again picks up another kill onto Kirk. King Kong caught in the middle. James trying to soak up the damage as MP the King walks away. Conceal use to be able to retreat.
All right, so they burn a couple flickers and battle spells too. They're gonna pop a conceal. They're gonna go
Dihajar
for the
loh.
buff here. So MP's gonna lose that one. This is not looking good here for Twisted Minds.
Yeah, Twisted Minds have made some incredibly desperate decisions. Again, going back to turtle number 2, MP the King trying to steal it away, and then the gank of James and the answer of Twisted Minds to try and get Kelra down, only to force a Purify out, and he got away without a problem. They have to slow things down, Twisted Minds, if they want
Perfect
even
turtle
a
dong
chance
ini.
to keep this close. But this point on, this big a lead,
Mengamuk
this
kayak
is
apa?
signature Onyx Philippines.
5.000 gold di
Punish
menit
mistakes,
ke-7 perbedaan.
punish greed, and make sure that you walk away with a victory early on.
Well, it's good. Escalera with a Sacred Hammer forced out Brusco's Raging Sandstorm. Right on time with the neutral objective up for grabs, so Twisted Minds, they can contest and play around the real world manipulation.
That's the thing though too, man. King Kong, what, 3 levels ahead of MP. There's no way that MP can really even contest the objectives for now. He's got to play catch up until
Beda
the
3
Lord
level
comes in.
loh.
I'm even worried for him for the first Lord. Now that's 3 for 3 for Turtles. So far so good for King Kong in the jungle. And they're in a great position for that Lord take. Look at all the gold in the hands of Onyx Philippines. And that's why you see them fighting on this side of the jungle. They're not afraid
Fokus
to
dia,
go
Bang.
and take whatever they want right now. So
Lancelotnya
it's
nih.
Twisted Minds thinking, how do we catch back up into this game?
Kalau udah
How
mati
do we
dia sekali
allow
loh.
ourselves to get in a position to not get totally slammed in this game 5, because you're looking at a 6k
Dihabisi
deficit
semua
this early on. You know, 8 minutes in the game, that's
jungle.
really tough to be in.
It has to start again with Escalera, just like Game 3, the Guinevere setups. If he replicates it with the Stigreal, a couple more sets can equalize again the game and eventually come back from this huge deficit established by Onyx.
6,600 and climbing. MP the King can only split push to try and break turrets. Twisted Minds have completely lost their chance at the early game to dominate and take hold. They now have to pull off the defense of a
14,
lifetime
bos. Beda 4
multiple
level.
times to try and keep this game close.
Link ini loh.
That's one of the problems. Multiple times is just kind of showcasing how much ground they have to cover. And honestly, throughout the whole series, they haven't been in this position this far behind. Right? I mean, every single game has been somewhat of a close back and forth until that first Lord even. But now they find themselves in a position where, yeah, if you try to contest this Lord in 20 seconds, you're probably just going to be gone, and that's going to be the series. So they really have to be calculated about this. King Kong already max level, sitting at 15, while look at MP, still 10. So they can take everything they want. They'll take their time, though. Onyx Philippines not going to
Udah
push it or
level loh.
press it. Now,
Udah
with
level
Escalera on the
15.
Tigreal, wow,
Oh,
Level 4.
outplayed, felt that. Oh, no!
Meledak.
Picks up Outplayed with the Tetsonata. Out of the 5 members of Twisted Minds, they pick out Outplayed.
5-level lead for King Kong over MP. Make that 4 now but it is an insane snowball. MP desperate.
Jumps in, Tempest Blade might be able to bring down Kelra, and he will do so successfully.
Mundur.
That's a huge kill for MP the King, but gets traded out for his own life.
So is that like, I know he wanted Kelra, but
That's something.
I guess it's also just because you know you can't really contest the first
Yeah.
Lord, but then you lose your buff and everything else. So yeah, I guess you just go and get what you can.
Yeah, that's something. That wasn't a massive shutdown. Keller only had 1 kill when that happened. So at this point, that was just Twisted Minds trying to get something out of nothing. They can't contest. They have to wait, try and defend. As Onyx Philippines, again, we've seen them do this time and time again since MPL Philippines Season 14, since the start of their rise. And they can just continue. They just have to stay disciplined, stay focused. They have the lineup, they've had the lead, they have the items. Honestly, they can actually end it with the next Lord push if they get the opportunity.
King Kong kalau ada hero-hero apanya, apa namanya,
How Outplayed's not really even
macam skill 2
something that Onyx has to
Lancelot.
worry about too much. Like he's so far behind in terms of
Jago
Kelra
dia,
or
bos.
in comparison to Kelra. And
Sama kayak
if he's
Suyo,
caught
skill
out,
satunya.
that's the problem. You mentioned the
Immune
Khalid. I think
gitu.
that is part of the big thing here. And Brusco had a tough couple games, but now in this Khalid, oh no, James.
James, again, forced out to use the Revitalize with 1 Rhapsody and Lantern Flare. Hajizi already uses the real world manipulation to try and delay the push of Onyx Philippines as everyone's working on the turrets. Look at King Kong,
King
Thorn
Kong.
was able to dodge out the Templars of Blades as Twisted Minds defends all their inhibitors and takes down the Lord.
It was a crazy dance King Kong did there. I mean, I know he has like a massive gold lead over them, but he took like what, just a scrape of damage from dancing under the tower against 2?
And he's taking all these buffs. Mid turret goes down to the base of Twisted Minds.
Conceal.
Bottom turret gonna be next. I'm not sure if Onyx still pushes it. They're gonna go.
Thorn throws in.
Meledak.
Just to bring down Hajizi. And that's
Ini.
Calero. King Kong from the back.
Oh.
Catch outplayed. And that is it. MP the King left to defend. And the defending
Go,
champion
kill King Kongnya, bang.
defends their playoff spot.
Menunjukkan skillnya.
And the
Gokil,
Super
bos.
Fam